What up, Tucson, Arizona? This is the Call Me Crazy Show. Call Me Crazy Show, episode 117. I want to apologize for slacking off so much on the Call Me Crazy Show. A lot of people have been asking me about why I haven't been able to make the show a little better. And if the show is better, thanks to Marty and TCCC. But unfortunately, I get busy working and all that. But I will do some talking right now, and I will let you know what I found out today. Today is August 14th, I think. August 14th. Is it August 14th?
17th.
Shit, I'm off by 3 days, people. August 17th, and it was 27 years ago today. Elvis Presley left this land today. Elvis Presley was pronounced dead 27 years ago. We all know who he is. Elvis Presley is the king of rock and roll. Believe it or not, one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar was Elvis Presley's song. But anyways, Elvis Presley's been dead for 27 years. Okay, then also, what I also found out a couple days ago too is that I'll get more information about it, but I'm not sure. But I read a couple days ago that there was a boat with a bunch of immigrants heading for Florida. I think they were coming off of I'm not really sure what country they were from, but it's around the area of Gulf of Mexico, next to Cuba, I think. But anyways, apparently the captain of the ship abandoned them on the ship, and so the people, there were I think total over 40 to 50 people on the boat, they were left to fend for themselves with no food or water, And so what happened, the captain took off with another boat and never came back for them. So there were 40, 50 people on this boat pretty much going crazy from dehydration, and a lot of people committed suicide by jumping off the boat into the water. And then here's the part that gets kind of crazy, kind of creepy. I guess, but survival of the fittest, that's what I guess what it comes down to. But some of the women were on the boat, and some of the men were going pretty much had nothing else to eat. And I swear to God, people, this is not a story I'm making up or a story that we wrote. But the men on this boat, where people were committing suicide, jumping off into the ocean, made the women give them breast milk. You understand what I mean? Basically, they were so hungry, there was no food or water. These men made the women on the boat who were still alive give breast milk. And so the men, and I guess the women too, were drinking breast milk. And this one lady gave out so much breast milk that she eventually died, and she was pitched overboard also. They said one of the corpses of the women was found, or was on the boat, and it seems like some of the people on the boat were trying to eat the flesh off of the corpse, off of the woman, one of the women who was didn't have no breast milk to give. So I think maybe a handful of survivors were left, but I'll look more into it. It's a horrific story. I would like to know more about it so I can give you guys details, because it's something that really happens every day in the whole world, despite the fact that we live in this age of so many pleasures, if you will, and so much information that we can use to make ourselves be more aware of our surroundings. But anyways, it sounds like a Stephen King horror story, but that's what really happened a couple days ago. And then I'm also going to talk about Iraq. Okay, we also know that the war in Iraq is still ongoing. As of tonight, the total death toll for U.S. soldiers casualties is 930, and then for U.S. Wounded casualties is over 6,000. So people, you got to remember those 6,000 U.S. injured troops. You got to remember they might be missing a limb, maybe severe head trauma, or whatever the fact is, that they're not going to be able to fight anymore, go back into the front line, but they got to deal with the aftermath and what they got to deal with here in the U.S. concerning their physical therapy, and also the emotional stress that they're going to carry with them. I've been seeing a lot of Iraqi freedom fighter veterans. I read this article in New Yorker magazine, saying there's this one Iraqi freedom fighter who was discharged earlier this year in January after a tour in Iraq, and he takes a lot of pills. He said he takes Percocet, and he takes Valium, and he drinks like a case of beer. And he said that the nightmare that he suffered in Iraq and from so much death, he said even with all the sleeping pills and alcohol he drinks, he still cannot fall asleep, because the post-traumatic stress syndrome is that great that the shock of it still hasn't wavered off. So it gets bad to know that George Bush doesn't seem to care, that there's so many of our finest people, U.S. citizens, are dying for something that the U.S. government and primarily the administration, the Bush administration, want to further their goals. Let it be they want to make more money selling oil or whatever the hell it is. But for me, there's an underlining reason why I think George W. Bush went to Iraq, is because he wanted to take the oil, be in control of the oil, and be in control of all the American contract concerning the reconstruction of Iraq. I also found out a couple days ago that the day after September 11th, 01, George Bush and Donald Rumsfeld, there was an emergency cabinet meeting in the White House the next day, and they were discussing who the hell to bomb. So they were kind of angry themselves too, and they said, there's nothing really for us to bomb in Afghanistan. How about we go hit Iraq? People, you gotta remember, this is the day after 9/11. There was no proof whatsoever of any connection from Iraqi government concerning to the 19 hijacker who took over the planes, who slammed into the World Trade Center. There was never no connection, but yet September 12th, 01, Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense, and George W. Bush, the President of the United States, were discussing on hitting and bombing the hell out of Iraq because the Taliban in Afghanistan was just too small. So it just goes to show they get money hungry, war hungry, trigger happy mofos who have no business running the country. That's why the Call Me Crazy Show is a firm believer in John Kerry. John Kerry is the winner of 3 Purple Hearts, and I'll be damned if anybody else is going to say that the 3 Purple Hearts that he won is no good, because you got to remember he went through some courageous gun battles just like any U.S. veteran in any war that the U.S. government ever been in. So all I'm saying is John Kerry is the better candidate for the President of the United States because he has bled his blood. He has bled, and he has been hurt, and he has been wounded, and he has led, and he has been the perfect gentleman, they say, on the war field back in the Vietnam era when he was in Vietnam. And they also said that he was very brave. So all I'm saying is that George W. Bush was not in Vietnam. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that he was not in Vietnam. I'm just saying that John Kerry was in Vietnam, and I think he would do a better job of running this country. He will be able to build better alliances, which we all should be doing right now, because it seems like everybody hates the U.S. But how ironic, everybody loves rock music. Okay, people, I'm out of here, but next thing I want to talk about too, the name of the new Star Wars movie, Episode 3, comes out May 2005. It's called The Revenge of the Sith. And for all you people out there in La La Land, I made that prediction with Marty 2-3 years ago, during the time of Attack of the Clones came out. Fantastic Four, the movie is going to be made. Superman movie might be being made as by the guy who made X-Men, Bryan Singer. Batman movie comes out June 05. And let's see. Okay, one thing first I also wanted to talk about before I sign off is that on the corner of Oracle and Grant, there's a store called Roses and More. And every day when I'm going to work, I pass by that sign, and there's always something political, opinionated message on that board. And I think it's great that the business at Roses and More, the owner, is finding time to relay their opinion to the to the Tucson public, because the other day one of the messages said 20 million women of voting age did not vote in the last election. So this guy is not only paying taxes by being a business owner, but he's also promoting education about politics here in the country and here in the U.S. and here in Tucson. Okay, I'm out of here, folks. I gotta go home pretty soon. But I just want to say thank you, TCCC. Next time we talk, for sure, next Monday, I think we're going to be doing some urban sprawl stuff. But I'm going to say now, we're going to go to downtown. We're going to go to the Axis TCCC building. And for all you people in downtown and La La Land who haven't seen it, they built this huge, painted a huge mural on the side of the Tucson Public Access building. And I guess 4 or 5 women painted this mural, a bunch of ladybugs, a bunch of nonsense. I really don't care for it, because people, the city of Tucson then put over the mural a little sign that says Access Tucson. So what I want to know, why is it the names of all the women who made the mural? And I'm not saying it's an ugly mural, but what do those women who made the mural have anything to do with Access Tucson? what I would have supported, I would have said, hey, since we're going to make a mural on the side of Tucson Public Access Building, the mecca of cablevision for us here in Tucson, let's get all the talk show hosts, let's get all the volunteer workers, let's get anybody who has any inkling of what goes on in the organization at TCCC, and you know, we'll all get together and we'll all put video camera and we'll all have pictures of what TV does for us in the community. But no, we got a bunch of fucking ladybugs and a bunch of women's names that have no bearing on TCCC whatsoever. I'm not saying that they're bad people. I'm not saying that they're mean people. I'm not saying that they're unpretty people. I'm just saying that the money was not well spent on a mural that has nothing to do with cablevision, nothing to do with public access, and all it has is a bunch of psychedelic color that has no reason for any of it to be on the building, and if you guys see that, people out there in La La Land, you guys see that mural on the wall, just tell me what you think. But I think it sucks. Okay, and what else? Vote John Kerry. I hope George W. Bush croaks one day. I'm glad Ronald Reagan is dead, and oh yeah, and you know what? City Council for making have the Arizona Daily Star. We might as well not have the internet, because that is just pure BS that we cannot be on live TV on the weekend and be switched around on the recording, on the reprogramming for the TCCC.
It's about the Jawa. Our next has a heaviest song called Warlock, dedicated to H.P. Lovecraft. It's about people who live under the ground 6 feet under. How about that?